the MTDCNC podcast, sponsored by Langley Alloys, unique metals for demanding applications, providing first-class performance and an international service.
Hello, welcome to today's MTDCNC podcast. I'm joined by legend of production control software, Geoff Gartland, MD of
PSL Datatrack.
Thank you very much, Geoff. And can I call you a legend of engineering, Phil?
So, well,
Phillip
I was
Anthony.
voted in the top 100 this last week, so I reckon you could call me a legend, yeah.
Top 100 what?
Top 100 in the manufacturer awards. Have you seen them before, Colin? You must have seen them.
Never heard of
MTD.
them. Well, congratulations. We should be definitely celebrating that. So where will we see that? In the magazine, online?
Yeah, if you go onto the manufacturer website, The Manufacturer it's called, you'll be able to see the last couple of years' nominations and who's won it this year across the industry.
Oh, congratulations. Obviously, magazines and websites such as MTD are available as well. Just to clarify that before you all log off and go to the bloody manufacturer. Thank you for that.
That's a great achievement, Phil. Congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate that, Geoff.
Congratulations. So, very briefly, Phil, Sales Director, DP Engineering, Cornwall's best kept secret. What do you do? What is the company? Very briefly.
Yeah, no problem. So we're a CNC manufacturer. So we'll take a customer's product and turn it into some kind of widget. We have 28 CNC machine tools. I believe this week we're 36 staff. We're heavily gone into the automation with automated gantry, bar feeds and pallet systems for all our machines. And we work very closely with the aerospace and oil and gas industry.
There you go. Some nice, easy industries to work with. Geoff, people who don't know you or PSL Datatrack, well, we know who you are because I just introduced you, but what in a very brief summary, you've got 30 seconds. I'm not timing. PSL Datatrack.
Well, okay, production control software. So what that is, it starts with quotation, takes you through the process, material, subcon costs, everything to set up the job, and then runs all the way from works order through to invoice, encompassing purchasing, traceability, obviously stock control, scheduling, shop floor data collection. You've got quality modules, gauge calibration, non-conformance, contract review. You've got tooling modules. And so it's all the factors you need to encompass to deal with a quote all the way through to invoice.
So in a nutshell, you can run your whole machine shop with your software.
Exactly.
And Phil, leading question, you do. Well, that's a leading statement.
We do indeed, yeah. And Geoff could probably say how many years for, but I've been here 8 years and we've been using it ever since then. And I can imagine it's been prior to that as well.
I think it was 2005.
There we go.
The system first came in. Yeah.
There you go.
Been a while.
I've got to put you on the spot, Phil, but what were you? Well, you probably don't know what they were doing before because you've only been there 8 years and they've had it, by my simple maths, 19 years. So any idea what they were doing before and how
I think it was the classic Excel sheets, post-it notes, fag packets, guessing, a bit of that really.
Yeah.
I think in all fairness, Phil, I think if I think back to those days, back to 2005, the spreadsheets that you had in place were really clever, but they were still spreadsheets, and that was the problem. There was still a limit to what you can do, despite
That's it.
Went in, and it was impressive.
We definitely don't like to leave things half-hearted here. If it even if it was 15 years ago, we're if it's a spreadsheet, it's got to have a macro. It can't just be a normal spreadsheet.
Quite right.
You're showing off here. Now, prior to this podcast starting, Phil was showing his IT skills and he failed miserably. So don't start mentioning macros and things like that. I'll call you out on that one.
It's got me.
Joking aside, I mean, we visited DP Engineering a number of times and it's Cornwall's best kept secret. It's a fantastic facility. But you've, hold on a minute, you've reduced your number of machines. Why?
We've dropped the number of machines, not by many, due to the fact that the newer machines, the new automation, is actually giving us a more of a proactive approach in how we plan our capacity, what hours we use in what time of the day. So a lot of the machines are auto loading, so you now don't have to stand in front of the machine and load a billet. Luckily, an automated machine doesn't go on tea breaks and toilet breaks, which obviously everyone has. So we've actually gained productivity by having the automated machines and capacity than actually having more machines in the building.
Yeah, so newer machines, automation, things like that. But it's not about the machine. Today we're not about the machines. It's a great facility, and we hope to come visit you again. I haven't told you that yet, so look forward to that. I know you love getting yourself on camera.
Always.
But I quote Dean and Geoff, PSL is a heartbeat of the company. So, Geoff, I'm going to ask you, can you quantify that statement before Phil tells us why?
Well, I think it came out of one of the early interviews with Phillip some years ago, and I think it's really encompassed by the fact that if you get the quote right, you set up. That's the start of the heartbeat. You set up how a job's made, the processes, the times, the material, the subcon, and then from there on, at the point you process an order, there are no mysteries. If the quote is fully detailed, at every stage through that production process, information is pulled through from that quotation. So yeah, you can think of it as the beat just moves on down the system.
Okay, you say it's fully detailed, but Phil, are you the person who's keying all this data in, or you got somebody else?
I can remember when you were on site and that comment was mentioned, and it is correct for DP. We heavily rely on PSL throughout the business. If it went down, then we wouldn't be shipping any parts. But it's a big driver of if we get the quotation correct, it makes everything from contract review to delivery seamless. But it does involve, you do have to put the right work in at the quote. If you're going to do a half-hearted quote, then you're going to see errors in the system. But if you get it right in the setup at the correct at the quotation, then in an ideal world, you shouldn't see any issues.
Okay, so get that data right from the beginning. But is it easy to do, or is it, you can spend hours on each quote and things like that?
No, it's for us. We do a lot of similar products, similar routines, similar features in a manufacturer. So if we've got a similar part in a quote, we can copy that over. It can bring in times, it can bring in the materials. A lot of the modules are linked, so you can quite quickly jump in and out of the modules. So yeah, for us building a quote, if it's a similar product we've seen before, you can have it done in minutes as long as you've got the right material prices up to date in the system.
Well, material prices, that not so much now, but 6, 12, 18 months ago, they were up and down I won't use an analogy, but they were going up and down quite a lot. So is it easy, things like that, easy to change, easy to use and intuitive?
Yeah, it's, for the actual materials, obviously we got the materials stock module, which link directly into the quotation, which goes through to our works orders. We were having to change those prices through just after COVID, and the supply chain wasn't holding it for 24 hours. So we were having to go in all the time and update them. And it's quite interesting from the quote stage that yes, they're easy to build, but if you get it right, can take time from our technical point of view. Not so much the system. The system is there for once we've got all our information. So we kind of push our customers with if you expect a quote back within an hour, then the odds are it's not being done correctly.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, you've got to get it right and some engineers they might be reticent to admit it, but they previously have been making losses on jobs, and now with PSL Datatrack, it's identified shortfalls.
And the good thing with PSL of that, you can check that at the end with your job costing module.
There you go. Now, Geoff, ask every time, modular system, how many have you got?
27 modules.
If you could list every one, please.
I'd have
a go.
I'll tell you what, with the first module though, the first module, the main module that kicks it all off, quotations, I was just having a thought, when you asked Phillip about whether quotes are easy, if I think back to when we first put the system in 2005, and Phillip, obviously predecessor Colin, was doing the quotes, and he actually went live the same day we put the system in. I remember coming down to Cornwall, installing the system in the morning, and Colin was live on quotes in the afternoon. He just got it.
Yeah.
And that's the fastest implementation of quotes we've ever had. Basically about 3 hours. He just said, yeah, that's better than what I'm doing. I can use that.
Away you go.
And okay, he started building data from the ground up. But that, to me, really set a bit of a tone with DP in terms of don't mess about. Just get on and do it. And if you understand what you're doing and you can see the tools there, then what's holding you back? Just use it.
And I also know, Geoff, that you were happy to go down to DP because it's a beautiful place and right by the beach. Is that the reason?
Oh, is it by the beach, Colin? I didn't notice when I was down there.
Joking aside, you obviously you got your training, things like that. But one of the key things that Dean's highlighted prior to us having this doing this podcast now, Phil, it's enabled you to retain business and also develop business. So two things here. How's it enabled you to retain business, and how's it enabled you to develop new business?
So for us, obviously everything is everyone gets the same layouts, paperwork. We can quite quickly see where a customer has issues with like the WNC modules and the quality modules. We can see where our quotations are, what value they've got on order with us. So when we have calls with our customers on regular checks, we're using PSL to see exactly where their health check is and if there is problems. And also, again, with potential new clients, we can obviously pump them into PSL and then use the pipeline feature to kind of work out where the new customers are going to come from, what they are, etc. So it's a classic system where you put good data in, you get good data out. If you don't maintain it, which I won't lie, we're not perfect with it. Geoff has been on many calls with us where, why have you done that, DP? And it's the classic. You go, what's that information doing there? Wow, we thought it was right. But, if you get it right, and I would say we're the cleanest data we've got in there since we've had PSL, and it's taken a long time to get culturally everyone on board from getting rid of the spreadsheets, which they still hang around. They still hang around, but the more people now in the building are using all the features in PSL than we ever have done, and hopefully that will continue.
I think it's so easy when someone gets an idea of something to click and open Excel, rather than stop and think, "Oh, I wonder if I can." And to be honest, Phil, I think you're giving yourself a hard time. I don't think you use it badly at all.
No.
It's being self-critical is always.
We find there's as with any software packages that when you start digging into things, you go, that's what it can do. And you think, God, I've been doing this for so long, and then if I knew that button worked, I could have done that. But I think the biggest change for us was when we have a main KPI sheet which all the process owners feed into, and we were copying out data from PSL into an Excel sheet and then populating a main dashboard. So. Yeah. It came to one, it was about 2 years ago, and it was like, well, why are we copying the data? So we literally, there and then, deleted the data on the Excel sheet to force us to use, like, if you want to see the data, just press print on the report. And from then, I think has really made people realise, oh yeah, this is quite a powerful tool if you get it right. And it's quite funny from the audit point of view when we get audited, where a lot of people like to see, right, there's your spreadsheet, there's all your numbers, and it's like, I bring them into a room and go, right, print, there's your information on the screen. And some of the older auditors don't really get on board with that.
There you go. We'll come to that in a minute, but taking a step back, one of the key things there is, Geoff, being available, being accessible to these guys to help them out, because clearly the IT expert that Phil is, he hasn't been running this system properly at all, has he? I am being light-hearted about it, but you're available, you're there, not 24/7 obviously, but you're UK based, you're there to help, and also do your wish list as well, which is key to what these guys have done.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's been a major thing really over the 19 years we've worked with DP Engineering, because there's always room for improvement, whether it's usage of a tool, whether it's improving the tool, okay, Datatrack being the tool in this case, putting additional functionality. But every company, and particularly with the accreditations that DP Engineering hold, they'll be reporting that's unique or that's, if you like, pushing some of the boundaries. And we've worked over the years to actually put together customized reports to present data in exactly the way that DP have needed to see it. So it's not just standard usage, it's getting that information reported back in a good format. And that really works through the collaboration. It's really great for us to have guys like DP Engineering to work with, where we can bounce ideas backwards and forwards and then come up with a really good solution to a problem or a request.
Okay. Now, next question I have is, and yes, we said there's 27 modules. I think, Phil, you've got them all, and they're all fantastic in their own individual way. I'm going to put you on the spot here. I've not asked this before. Do you have a favourite one?
Me? Have I got a favourite one?
Yeah, your name's Phil.
Oh, right, okay. I think meant the other Phil. God, that's an interesting one.
It's like a favourite child.
Do I have a favourite module? I would say.
You might have got one that's gone, well, bloody hell, that has actually saved me hours. It's so easy to use. I am putting you on the spot there.
No, I would go with the probably the capacity module, the scheduler module.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I think, is it called the scheduler module? I'm not too sure, but I would say
sequential scheduler is its official name, but scheduling.
I would say that one just for how we use that data within our production environment now. Is so key, and it's been the kind of the drop in the ocean to know that's got to be right, and we've got those features right now, and those reports are now gold dust.
Phil, I think that's really interesting, because I was wondering what you were going to come up with when Colin put you on the spot. But thinking about some of the things I know we've discussed over the years and so on, I can understand why you focused on that.
Yeah.
And that ties in with what Colin was asking you about dropping the number of machines. You're all about efficiency and getting the most you can out of the machine shop.
Yeah, that's it. So, Jeff, you got it.
Yeah.
Good. Now, with the schedule, I'm assuming this is your greens, your ambers, your reds.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Obviously, ours is only green, obviously, but I don't know.
Everything's green.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the other colours.
Okay, that's good to hear. No, but I just wanted to clarify that to make sure we're all on the same page or the same module even. So that's good to hear. Right, you did touch on it brief. I mean, there's lots here, and where time is running on, and I'm sure, I'm guaranteed it's absolutely engaging for all our audience, absolutely. But don't switch off now when I say accreditations, everybody's favourite. You've got some. Are they a joy to do? Are they more efficient now? That's three things.
Yeah, we've been within the AS market since 2008. So with all the CFC, the traceability, it's all on there really. When it comes to an audit or a product audit, we just go onto one of our routines and print the traceability report, and there we go, sir. Take that. And we can do that a lot more now that we've got rid of all the historic Excel sheets. A product audit now, if I can't sit in a room and bring up a works order and go, there's the info without having to leave the room, then we failed. So that's where we are on some processes. We're not 100% there on everything, but the aim is to be able to sit anywhere, log on to PSL and go, there it is. That's all you need to know.
Absolutely, because you are doing critical components, so you need that traceability to tie in with the AS.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
absolutely. So I'll cover that one. We covered that one very briefly. Where time is running on. But at your machine shop, you've actually got individual, modules, setups in each production centre. Is that right? Why have you done that? How's that work?
This could change again. So we've got a production license which allows the shop floor guys to log on for their traceability through shop floor data collection, so we can see exactly where the job is, what they've made, what they've scrapped, etc., which normally is 0. Then we have looked at through how the AS standard is slightly changing with authority and who's authorised to do things. So we may be going to individual licenses. We have looked at with Geoff password protecting logins for traceability. So not anyone can go and log onto a PC and log a job. So that's going to be something we're going to bring in within hopefully in the near future, just to try and tighten it up. So, and we've also taken that with the traceability we're doing on shop floor data collection. We're actually running some areas paperless.
Okay, well, we all love saving the environment. Absolutely, I'm too old to really care, to be honest with you, gentlemen. But that's another story. We're moving on very, very swiftly.
Well, before I forget, one of the things that we should discuss. So, with your production licenses for shop floor data collection, you can now have a password assigned to an operator. So even though it's a generic log-on, they have to enter a password to confirm it's them. So that's an option you can look at as well.
That's you've mentioned that previously, and something we didn't know. So it's it will definitely help out with some of our processes of how we authorise things in the building.
Yeah.
Okay, so with you've got all the modules here, Phil, where the time is running on, engaging it as it has been. But Geoff, you're sort of, yes, you've got your product. Yes, it's off the shelf, it's modular. But how have you added that extra value with these guys? It sounds like you've added a lot of extra value here.
Well, what we've got, I forget the numbers now, but there's a huge number of configuration options, something in the region of about 1,600, I believe. And they're not just yeses and nos, so they could be a choice of value. So we've got several thousands of configuration options we can set. And it's really a case of what we do. We take a judgment in terms of how to configure most of the options, and most we can get right. Then there's a few things we'll tweak over the years as we bring out new functionality. If we, based on a new feature, we could tweak this, we could change this, we could change that, and we advise customers what the new options are that we've launched as well. So the idea is we want the system to be like a glove, really. Okay, maybe it won't ever be a perfect fit because nothing's ever finished. There's always room for improvement, both in software and in terms of what you're doing on the shop floor and processes and so on. But it's keeping up with those improvements. So we do our best to keep that glove fitting as well as it possibly can.
Absolutely. So developing the software all the time to work in conjunction with clients.
It's ongoing. Ideas never stop, Phil, do they?
All the time. I think that's very good when you have those discussions, because obviously PSL, Geoff's side, they're creating the software, we're using it, and we can always give if it could do this, it'll make our life a hell of a lot easier. And then sometimes it's a light bulb moment, and sometimes it's don't be so silly.
I know more on the subject. Right, guys. Yeah, again, where time is running on, I'm going to get a quick summary. Ask you for a quick summary, please, Geoff.
Well, I'd just like to say, Phil, thank you for obviously making the time. And, the last 19 years have been a very rewarding experience for us in terms of working with DP Engineering. And obviously, Phil, over the last 8 years, it's been great, obviously working together with you.
Yeah, appreciate that, Geoff.
Phil, anything, just a quick summary from you, sir?
I think you've nailed it from the previous comment when you've been down before. PSL is the heartbeat, because if they turned off now, we might as well shut the door because everything runs through it.
Right, that's good to hear. So I'm just doing a quick summary. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. So, DP is all about your automation in terms of your machines and things like that. And PSL ties in very closely with that. You've got things like you can identify issues, you've got your health checks, you've got your pipelines, your KPIs, and it makes it very, very simple. And you've got your print. Data is key to businesses now. And then, as you said, your scheduler is your absolute gold dust. So PSL Datatrack, key to DP Engineering. I'm going to book the next trip in when I looked at the weather forecast to come, and nobody needs to see me in my board shorts, but I wouldn't do that to you. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining MTDCNC podcast. I actually didn't introduce myself. Colin Griffiths, Operations Director, and looking after you guys as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the show. Geoff, Phil, thank you very much, and hopefully see or speak to you soon.
Cheers, Colin. Cheers for hosting, and speak to you soon, Geoff.
Thanks very much. Speak to you both soon.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the MTDCNC podcast, sponsored by Langley Alloys, specialists in a wide range of exotic materials for any application for all your engineering needs.